From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Time for our We Pick 'em segment. Barry, we've got some good football games to talk about. Let's start with a bowl game, the first involving a Big 12 team to play in a bowl this bowl season. It's the Holiday Bowl. Baylor against UCLA. Who you got in this one?
Well, this is a good matchup. I mean, these are UCLA. I thought Jim Moore Jr. did one of the better coaching jobs in America. Really turned the Bruins around. Art Briles proven that Baylor's no fluke and is going to survive after RG3. It's going to be high scoring. I'm going to take UCLA. I think the Bruins have really came through near the end of the season, played well, waxed Southern Cal there at the end. I think it's going to be high scoring. Defense takes a holiday, but I'll go with UCLA.
Defense will take a holiday, but I'm going with Baylor in this one. I got to see the Bears, as I always do, multiple times this year, it seems like, and I got to see them play a fantastic end of the season. They threatened to beat OU at Norman, and at the time you thought, man, what's wrong with OU? And then as the regular season concluded, you realize Baylor had gotten hot, and Lake Seastrunk is a big part of that. I don't think UCLA, well, I know UCLA does not have an answer for them with their defense. I just think Baylor's playing really well offensively. I think they win it, but yeah, it's going to be, 40s, maybe even 50s in this bowl game. After what Baylor did last year in their bowl game, who knows how high this one could go. All right, Barry, let's go to the NFL. What about this game on Sunday? New Orleans travels to Dallas. Who you got in this one?
I've become a believer in these Cowboys. I think Jason Garrett's done a great job getting this team turned around. They're on a winning streak. Really have survived a tough game with Cincinnati, 1-1, overtime against the Steelers. I think Dallas gets it done and lives to go another day with a division title on the line at Washington.
You were a believer, though, before I was. Now I've come around. All right, Dallas, I'm picking you to beat New Orleans on Sunday. I didn't think they'd go to Cincinnati and win, and then obviously had some really trying circumstances before that game. Still were able to pull it out, as Barry mentioned, and then obviously the big overtime win against the Steelers. That was almost a home field advantage for the Steelers, Barry. Just you mentioned it last week, how many Steelers fans were there. So for Dallas to be able to pull that off, I thought was a really big gut check. And New Orleans, just so up and down. You got to go with the Cowboys in this one on Sunday. All right, Barry, let's talk about Christmas Day basketball games. Yes, Christmas, it's right around the corner. We got some great games coming up in the NBA. Let's get a rundown of 3 of those. What about this one? Boston goes to Brooklyn. Who you got in this one? Don't you like the sound of that, by the way? Basketball in Brooklyn. It's great.
I love the sound of it, and we haven't had a Boston versus Brooklyn game since the Braves left Boston in the National League in 1952. So a couple of prime American names going at it. I like the Celtics even at Brooklyn. The Nets got off to the hot start, have struggled since then. Avery Johnson's job security is in question. Boston is not a team that gets geared up for the regular season, but on occasion they do like to show up for big games. Christmas Day is a big game. I think the Celtics will get it.
Well, and I'm going to go with Brooklyn just because of the home court advantage. I think that, at their new arena, first time that they've had a Christmas Day game there, I think it's going to be a wildly popular event there for the Nets fans. And, yeah, they started out really well and have kind of tanked of late. So I don't know what's wrong with the Nets, but I do think this is a chance for them to come out and play well. I think they will play well. But this is a heck of a start to a great Christmas Day lineup, Barry. And next, after that game tips off early, you go out to the West Coast for an early game out there. The Knicks go to play the Lakers. Who you got in this one?
Well, this is the ghost of D'Antoni past against the ghost of D'Antoni present. And I got to tell you, the team that no longer has D'Antoni is much more happy about it than the team that currently has him. The Knickerbockers playing great basketball under Mike Woodson. Very pleased to have D'Antoni in the rearview mirror. D'Antoni has not turned the Lakers around. They're still they've started winning to some degree, but they're still struggling with weak competition. I don't like the Lakers at all. I think the Knickerbockers get them.
Yeah, and again, this is one where I say home court advantage holds some sway. I'm taking the Lakers in this one, but clearly a hot team versus a struggling team. The Knicks, they're the team that has taken New York by storm, not the Nets. Everybody thought the Nets would really be soaring, if you will, at this point in the year, and instead it's the Knicks. But I like LA. Talk about the Celtics coming to play when it's time to play big games. I think the Lakers, and especially Kobe Bryant, will come to play on Christmas Day. So I like Kobe to really take control of this game, and for the Lakers to win. but a fantastic matchup again. The NBA knows what it's doing when it comes to these Christmas Day matchups. But of course, the big one is the rematch of last year's finals involving the Thunder and the Heat. All right, Barry, who you got in this one?
Well, first of all, a tip of the cap to that noted Jewish man, David Stern. I appreciate, David, you putting this game in Miami because I don't like any of my friends to have to work on Christmas Day. Darnell Mayberry's the only one I know that'll have to mess with this game. A bunch of us, Jackie O, my colleague here, had to work Christmas Day last year. So thanks for having this game in the North Pole city of Miami. Anyway, I like the Thunder for this reason. They're playing fantastic. I mean, they are playing big-time basketball. The Heat's gone into turn it off, turn it on mode, get up for big games. This will be a big game they'll be up for, but the Thunder will be up for it too, and the Thunder seems to be on a season-long mission. I think the Thunder will be ready and pull it out on Christmas Day.
Thunder is playing fantastic, but I do like the Heat at home. I think that as we saw last year, in those finals, when they went home, there was just an extra juice that team played with. And that fan base, while I don't think that they bring it on a regular basis like the Thunder, I know they don't bring it like people do here in Oklahoma City on a regular basis, but in big games like this, they really get into it. And you know who else gets into it? LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Those guys are going to be playing at a high, high level when it comes to going against Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and the rest of this Thunder team. I think the Heat will be at their best. I think they will have it turned on, and I think they beat the Thunder on Christmas Day. But I do know this. I'm going to camp out on my couch and watch all the games on Christmas Day. Thank you, David Stern. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.